This is Murder Drones, a popular YouTube animated series produced by Glitch, the channel that created iconic indie shows such as The Amazing Digital Circus, The Gaslight District, and other shows no one cares about.
Who the fuck are you?
The show is all about robots, and robot vampire creatures, and eldritch horror. That's the best you're going to get in terms of story summary. If you have been on the internet long enough, you've probably seen these characters or even clips of the show. A few months ago, I saw the pilot episode, and I didn't really like it.
Crippling daddy issues, hilarious. What are you in for? Testosterone too hard?
That can happen? Awesome. Hey, those bandages look pretty badass.
Oh. Ew. Gross. I hate that you said that.
So I left it untouched for months. But then I decided to take a look at it again and ended up finishing the show. And somehow it got worse from the pilot.
Oh yes, get snuck upon.
The story of this show and how it unfolds is pretty bad. But here's the thing, I don't hate the show. I don't even think it's awful. Quite the opposite. I like the show. If I was to describe the show in the most simplest terms, I would say the show's highs are really high, but the show's lows are really low. So it balances out. If you want something you can turn your brain off to and just enjoy, check it out, you'll have a blast. But if you want a show with comprehensible writing, you're not going to get it here. Anyway, let's talk about it. Today we'll be talking about Murder Jones. What's good about it, what's bad about it, and everything in between. Starting with...
You see Banana Man hopping over on the white hot sand.
I think what kept me from turning the show off and watching something better are the characters. The characters, for the most part, are really likable and engaging. Uzi, though annoying at the start, did grow on me. She's an awkward, edgy teenager, but isn't really grating about it. Sometimes.
Boozy is. Oh hell yeah! I'm a damaged OC.
Shut your fucking mouth!
I think what makes her work is that they treat her being an edgy teenager as a joke, a punchline, making her character more endearing if anything.
No more feedback on my repression today!
No, I'm sorry. I didn't think.
Bite me!
However, I will say that I did not like that they gave her overpowered powers. It prevented her from being a unique character to me. She went from a normal drone using her cleverness to fight eldritch monsters to just being one of the murder drones but somehow more edgy. But we'll get to that later. N is perfect. I mean, how can you hate him? He's an adorable murder robot who's a softie and has a constant positive attitude.
I guess I just want to be useful. I was given a job, and I always want to try my best.
What I love is that he's able to have this overtly nice personality while still being ruthless.
One chance.
Cute. You know why I keep you around?
He's an adorable guy that can kick ass, what's not to love? Though there are times when the writing really wants to hammer in how soft and adorable he is, which can get annoying.
Are also known for having gentle mouths. That's why they're good with kids.
Also, I think N and Uzi's relationship is really cute, even if I feel bad for V. And of course, we get to my favorite character of the whole show, Tad. Tad is an epic alpha male, the glue that held this series together. Just look at this guy's swagger.
Thanks. Super invited to my shindig next weekend. Cool kids only.
Honestly, he's the real main character of the show. Oh, V is cool, I guess. I like V, but I wish we got more of her. To me, she feels a bit underdeveloped. Like, I would like to see how this timid robot became a cold badass. and really see her open up and further explore her relationship with N. Doll's pretty cool. She has aura, I like that. But other than that, she's pretty much just a cool, mysterious character that doesn't lead to anything interesting and just ends up fucking dying. The way they handled her character is so disappointing. I really like Tess. I like the fact that she's not just a robot hater, but cares for them, and I love her intimidating yet bubbly energy.
Radio. Work to do. AJ.
Darius, you munching. You got nothing but fucking siggy butts up there.
You know, at least before the stupid reveal that almost ruined the show, but we'll get there when we get there. I like Uzi's mom. She's pretty cool and leaves a lasting impression despite only having a very limited screen time. Honestly, I like all but one of the characters of the show. Even this random ass teacher leaves an impression on me. It just sucks they couldn't have achieved their full potential. If you show a gun in the first act, the gun needs to be fired in the third act. For this show's case, the show is set in a gun store, but the characters spend all their time using knives. What I'm trying to say is there's many elements of the story that are previously established, but never goes anywhere, which makes for an unsatisfying watch as I sit there and say,
What?
there's no better way to show this idea than comparing the pilot with the rest of the show. Take a look at Uzi here.
But what have our parents done for the past forever while those things build a spire of corpses? Hide under the ice behind 3 stupid doors? It's like we're waiting for an inciting incident. Anyway, that's why my project is this sick as hell railgun.
Fuck you! You fucking dick!
Now, what do we learn about Uzi? Well, one says she's a rebellious character, and that she's an active character, forming plans and acting on her own accord, being the one to start the plot of the show pretty much. But one of the main things we learn is that she's an inventor, a mad scientist type, and as we see later on, she's someone who uses the environment around her to win fights. What she lacks in power, she makes up for in her cunningness. And I can't wait to see more of this aspect of her character, having to create more inventions to keep up with the murder drones and use the environment around her to defeat her enemies. The railgun is the only thing she invents, and that railgun gets destroyed in episode 2. Also, she gets powers that she uses to fight for the rest of the show. But hey, it's established that murder drones like Ed needs oil on the robots to survive, and that the sun hurts them. Maybe this will lead to some interesting conflict, like a fight going on while the sun is out, so Ed had to use cover while fighting, or Ed having to control his urge for oil. Maybe he could be like Zero from Vampire Night. Sorry for bringing up Vampire Night.
This taste. It's Kaname's blood.
A few moments later.
Zero!
Now I sense 2 vampires! Kaname! You've turned Yuki!
No, stop it, Zero! This man, he's my older brother.
So, does the show do anything interesting with Ed's vampire-like nature? Nope. They do nothing with these traits of Ed besides make him cool and edgy. Fine. How about this emotional scene with Uzi and her dad? They put such an emphasis on it that I bet it would take so much from her dad to earn her trust again. Maybe having her dad sacrifice himself to save Uzi, redeeming himself from his previous cowardness. He never does anything like that. Okay, how about the fucking ending where Uzi declares war on the humans as 3 spaceships flies towards the planet, ready to retaliate against Uzi, setting the human versus robot premise. Oh, for fuck's sake! Look, I get it that this is a pilot, and they probably decided to go in a different direction for the series since the pilot's release, especially with Ed having a different personality between the pilot and the rest of the show. But this isn't just a pilot. This is episode 1. You can't continue watching the rest of the series without watching the pilot. So I can't help but think about the established story elements of episode 1 that don't get explored further. But let's be forgiving and say they only carry certain elements from the pilot. Well, elements like the sun affecting the murder drones are still present and emphasized in the story, and yet they do nothing interesting with it. And because of Uzi's dad's cowardness in the pilot, there's a rift between Uzi and her dad's relationship throughout the show once they are reunited. But the dad never really does anything to undo his mistake for Uzi. And how about the fact in episode 3, we established that Uzi has powers like Dull. Now, even though I prefer Uzi being an inventor type character, I still like where this is going. Maybe in the next episode we get to see her practice with her newfound powers. The next episode is Uzi becoming a murder drone, being briefly possessed by Sin. But hey look, the preppy girl and Tad looks to be preparing herself to kick some ass. Hell yeah, it's time to see the best character in action. They do nothing but float around and be there. You guys see my point, right? Feels like there's too many elements that don't get the proper attention they deserve. I think it all comes from the fact that the show is trying to juggle so many story beats that certain established elements are basically ignored, which sucks. Also, what the fuck are these velociraptors? What are they? Are they just here for a Jurassic Park reference? And who is she? Why did she have so much screen time? And why did Bo die?
Oh no! Oh no!
Wait, Bo looks like what baby drones look like. Did I just see a fucking baby die? Babe's not going to lie. You know what? I've been too negative here. We got to save that for later on. So let's get to more positives.
Hey, welcome to the world I live in. What is the exposition?
The animation is amazing, especially for an indie studios, and they shine the best during the fight scenes. The fight choreography of the action scenes always get me hyped, even if the story is giving me a headache. The way the characters move, using everything in their arsenal, and being so fast, allows for engaging fight scenes. This series has better fight scenes than some animes. It's honestly amazing, and I can't help but gush at the final fight. As a story element, but by itself, with the nightcore music, just goes so hard. We need more fight scenes like the original Nightcore songs. In fact, I want more original Nightcore songs. It's fast, it's exciting, it's brutal. If only this was part of a better written story. The series has some beautiful set pieces, like the church area. Look at this place, it's like something out of Bloodborne, or the space part of episode 8. It looks so cool, and I love the detail of the noise being muffled because they're in space. I have nothing but respect for the animators and every other artist of this show, because man do they deliver. Alright, enough positivity, let's get to the worst part of the show.
You ruined everything, you stupid bitch.
In episode 7, it is revealed that Tessa was not Tessa, but in fact Sin. Who? That was literally my first reaction upon this reveal. But in all honesty, that's more of me being dumb. Because we get to see Sin's introduction here, and we see more of her when possessed by the absolute solver, and decides to wipe out the humans because humans mistreats robots.
They are not broken. We can no longer be thrown out.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Or wait, no, she wants to eat planets because she's hungry? Why did she wait so long to get to the planet to eat? And why was Sin disguised as Tessa? Just so she can fuck with N and V? And also the murder drones work for her? And they're sent by Sin to this planet because...
Thanks for clearing the way on this planet too. Let's eat.
But the humans were wiped out already. Unless she was talking about the robots. But why? I thought she was siding with the robots. Wait, no, apparently the murder drones were sent to destroy the other hosts. They sure did a terrible job. But why? Doesn't the Sober want more hosts to embody and go eat the planet with? Or is it Sin herself who doesn't want other hosts? Especially if you consider how she acts towards the end.
I missed you, Em. You know, you're one of the main reasons I wanted your team to retain your personalities. You always surprised me.
So does Sin have sort of control over the Solver? But wait, the Solver seems to act fine here from Jay's corpse. Why can't she just do her plan while she's like this? She seems pretty powerful. Wait, does that mean she also exists within N and V's body as well? Wait a minute, the world exploded. Does that mean she technically succeeded or what? What exactly was her plan after this? Just fuck around with the other robots? Find more planets to devour? Is her goal to gain more power? For what though? Now, it could be very possible that I missed important information. I am not the smartest person after all, and that the answers I seek could be found by analyzing the show frame by frame. But here's the thing.
I don't want to fucking do that!
This isn't Dark Souls, this isn't The Lighthouse, this is a silly robot show where it ends with Nightcore A and B. The plot shouldn't be this hard to understand. Instead of the show leaving me compelled with the mystery of it all, I'm just left annoyed. Also, Sin or Solver or whatever, I just don't like as a villain. For one, she's just a less compelling GLaDOS, and honestly acts all too jokey and unserious. It doesn't work when most of the characters act like this as well. I should be terrified of this thing, but I'm not, I'm just annoyed at her. And for other people, they're feeling something completely different. Sin has such a different presence between her showings that it feels like she's different characters, so I don't really care for the ultimate life form appears in the final episode. And also, I really don't like how the show's conflict was resolved.
Sorry, just me in here. I think dumb things are frickin' cool, and I am...
What? What are you talking about?
It's just one massive anime fight where good guys win by brute force and numbers. It's not that interesting in terms of storytelling. I mean, technically you could say that Uzi won by outsmarting Sin, but how it happens isn't really satisfying. I just wish there was more meat here to chew on, you know? I wouldn't say the final few episodes ruined the show for me, because I still had a lot of fun, but it definitely left me wanting more. Something more substantial to leave me satisfied. After all the problems I have pointed out, do I hate this series? No. For one, the show is short, so the agony of being puzzled by the story was short-lived. And two, the series is still a lot of fun at the end of the day. Characters are likable, it can be funny at times, it's fine. The characters don't get bastardized and the overly goofy tone is kept throughout the show. It's like being upset that a comedy movie doesn't have deep storytelling. I mean, the movie would be better with it, but it still makes me laugh, so I'm not exactly upset at it. It just leaves me wanting more from it. Yes, Murder Drones have bad parts, but it doesn't negate the good parts. There's so much passion and heart poured into the show, from the voice actors to the animators to the sound designers and musicians. That final Nightcore music goes so hard. And despite all my gripes with the writing, I have a lot of respect for the writer, Liam Vickers, who wrote one of my favorite pilots of all time, Cliffside.
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
He's very talented, has good ideas, has a good sense of humor, and is pretty good at writing characters. Hopefully, he learns from this show, and his next project will be better. Hopefully, it's a full season of Cliffside. Anyway, go ahead and check out Murder Drones. But don't go in expecting a masterpiece, because it sure as hell ain't one.